What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today, the topic of the video is don't let your feelings control you. And why that, why that is important, because we live in a society where, we tell, young men to be, be emotional, be very reactive, be very, feminine. But in all actuality, reality, and factuality, that's it. That's not a real thing. We cannot tell young men to be emotional. We cannot tell young men, oh, just be in your feelings. It's okay. I don't think that's doing good for society at all. Because if we if we look at for the past few years, I would say at least the past 5 to 10 years, right? We see what happens when we tell young men to be emotional. We see what happens when we tell young men, it's okay, just give in. It's okay, you can be feminine. We see how society operates when we tell young men these kind of things. We see it on a consistent basis. We see how men get more violent, right? We see that's why we have so much, so much school shooting, so much violence, so much gang violence, so much rapists. That's why we have all these things, right? That's why we get disrespectful young men who don't respect their mother or their father or their elders in general. That's why we get that when we tell them, "Oh, it's okay, just give in to your feelings, show more emotion." That's what we get. Instead of telling them, "Hey, listen, you better man up, stop crying about everything. Not everything is for you to just you know is a scapegoat to just be emotional, to just give in to how you feel all the time." Because as a young man, listen, we have to teach them. Me personally, as a young man, I used to be emotional, very reactive, very, very, how would I say that? Well, very disrespectful. But I had to realize that's not the path for me. That's not gonna help me. That's not gonna push me forward. Me being disrespectful or me being so emotional, because people will view me very differently. And one thing when I was younger, my uncle always told me that. You used to always remind me of that. When I used to always be emotional, tell what he told me. He said, listen, when you get older, when you become a man, all that emotional stuff you're doing, people won't respect you. Nobody will respect you when you're acting so emotional. You have to be a man, crying and giving in to your emotions all the time. Nobody's gonna respect you. So that have to stop. And still to a day like today, it stays in my mind, and I once in a while it comes back in my mind. And I'm like, damn, that's true. Because now I'm older, now I'm seeing it. I'm experiencing exactly what he told me. I'm like, damn, hold on, he was so right. And still to a day like today, man, I still respect my uncle. Every time I talk to him, that thought always come back in my mind. Because he was so right about what he said, right? But again, we teaching young men to be these kind of things, knowing that it's not gonna do good for society. But there's no role model talking to the young man. Who who out there talking to the young men? Oh, we do have people talking to the young men, talking to the young audience, the young male audience, right? But the first thing they do is fight them down. That's the first thing they do. That's the first thing the media do is fight the men who teach men how to be men. They always fight them down. They'll accuse them of something, accuse them of just a whole bunch of this radical stuff, right? So there's no positive role model in society for young men that's gonna teach young men to become men. There's none of it. So there's nobody teaching them. So what they'll do, they'll go astray because there's no leader, there's no guidance, there's nobody there to provide them with you know, the role of a big brother or manly figure that's gonna teach them to become men. There's none of it. There's absolutely none of it. There's nobody that teaching them these kind of things. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna go astray because they have nobody else to look up to. So what they do? They turn to evil. They turn to evil, and that's what we see in society now. That's exactly what we see in society, right? The whole feminization of men, right? They're just the weak. There's the weak movement of men. Like we see in all these things coming along, and we thinking it's okay. Oh, it's okay. Why is it okay? Oh, it's okay. Everything is just okay. Everything. Do you not see something wrong with that? Do you not see everything being okay is a problem? That it's not gonna benefit us, it's not gonna do good for society at all? For nobody? Nobody's benefiting from it. Do you not realize that? When everything is just okay, everything is okay. Why is everything okay? Everything is not okay. Because that's when we get the degenerate stuff in society. Because everything is okay, right? Because everything is okay. That's why we get certain things in society. But then people will like surprised when it happens and say, "Oh, I never knew that was gonna happen." No, because you stood up and accept the nonsense these people was pushing to you. You accepted it, and that's why we're seeing such things, such, you know, crazy things in society now. That's exactly why. Because nobody held these people accountable. The people who were pushing it, nobody held them accountable. So everything is just okay, right? And that's why we're seeing so much young men just giving to their emotions. Last time I think I was on, I was watching a video on Facebook, watching this young little boy. He's like 2, 3 years old, I think. I'm not too sure how old he is, but he was disrespecting his mother, calling out her name, and I'm like, how is that right? I'm asking myself, how is that right? Where is the father, right? Until I don't know, probably it was his dad who came in and had to discipline him, right? But why are we seeing that? Why is that something? Why is that acceptable for a young man at that age to be disrespecting his own parents, his mother? Like why, right? Or we see a young man in school. I see a young man in school who probably probably people don't like him, people make fun of him, and the first thing he do is get a gun and start shooting people. Why are we seeing that? Because we say, listen, the media, whoever pushing it to the young kids, telling them it's okay to give into your emotions, young man. It's okay, just do it. But how is that benefiting us? We clearly see it's not doing good for society, right? One day I was on the phone with this young lady, and she was in the mall, and she told me, I said, "What you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I'm about to get my friend a new shirt." Like, what happened? She said her friend rejected a boy, and he threw juice on her, or soda, juice, whatever it is. Like, why? Why is that okay? Why is he throwing soda on her? Just because she rejected him? That's why. Rejection is a normal thing. We all get rejected already in our lives, so there's no reason he felt so comfortable to throw some soda on the young lady just because she rejected him. Like, why is that? Instead of holding him accountable and saying you should not do that, and rejection is something that's normal. You're gonna face it in life, so you should deal with it and move on, right? And that's what happened when we tell young men, give in to your emotions, give in to how you feel. Oh, it's okay. Everything is okay. That's what we get. That's exactly what we get. Just disrespectful young man, violence, and all these things. That's exactly what we get. But again, only we can change it. Only we can make the change, unless if we come together. So we need to come together to fix this problem. Because if we don't, it's gonna keep getting worse. That's the end of the video. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.